And hello again, everyone. Welcome into this week's edition of Jacket Vision, our weekly look at Oxford Yellow Jacket football. I'm your host, Mickey Shadricks. I'll be joined each week on the program by Oxford head coach Ryan Herring. And Coach, we're back for another high school football season. Things got kicked off last Friday night at Lamar Field with a 27-6 victory over Talladega. Talk about the first week and the first game, getting that win under your belt.
Well, it's always good to get the first win, especially if it's game one. So it was great. I was just happy for the kids. We've worked hard since November last year. It's been a long process, and I just can't say enough about what the kids have done, what they've put in leading up to this point. So I'm just happy for them.
Well, a lot of talk was made going into this game about the fact that you were going up against your brother, Robert, who is the head coach at Talladega. Talk about how the game came about and how all that played out for you going up against your brother. I think for the first time you ever had to coach against him.
Yeah, it was, and that probably after one more year would be the last time. But we were talking last winter, and he actually, it was his idea. He said, "Hey, what do you think about playing?" And I said, "Well, I'd love to." So I just checked with our administrators to make sure, they were okay with it, and they said that's fine. And, he thought it'd be a good game for them just to kind of get their kids some excitement over there, getting to come to Oxford, hadn't played in a while. Instead of driving a long way off, or us driving a long way off, we just thought it'd be fun for the communities to have a close proximity game to play in. And it was. We had a good home crowd. I was really happy with our crowd, so it was a good night.
Well, it's been a while since we've been on the air talking Oxford football. This is our first show of the 2016 season. A lot has happened in the off season, so let me ask you right off the bat here, talk about the changes to your coaching staff. You've got a couple of really well-known former head coaches that are with you now, and Lee Osment and also Scott Peavy, as well as some great assistants who've been with you a while. They're back with you this year. Talk about the makeup of your coaching staff for 2016.
Well, I believe we had a great staff anyway, and especially great character men. But in off season, we've added a few more guys that have done nothing but help strengthen our staff that we already had. We hired Lee Osment from Glencoe, who of course everybody knows played at Alabama, but great man of character and a great football coach. So he's going to help our program out. And then all of a sudden we get a late addition towards the end of the school year, Scott Peavy. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people in the area know Scott Peavy from Wellborn, did a great job at Wellborn, and everybody you talk to about him, just had nothing but great things to say as far as being a hard worker and treating kids right, and the kids love him. And that's what we found out from him being here this summer and up to this point right now is he's high energy, he's fun, the kids love him. So he's another great addition to the staff. We also hired Marquise Elston, who played at Jack State. He's a local guy. He's been great for us. He's a great guy, and he's really bought in and is happy to be here, and we're happy to have him. So we've got three new guys, which for somebody I've been here 3 years. This is my fourth year. To add three guys, it says a lot about our administration, and our Board of Education of letting me hire some people. And but the guys we hired were all, to me, they were all home runs.
Well, it was a long off season, I'm sure, a lot of work in the weight room. I know you were pleased with some of the things you accomplished in the weight room with the team. And then, of course, you had fall camp and all those hot days in the practice field, finally getting to play against someone else. What did you learn about your team with one night under the lights last Friday night?
Well, the main thing was we ended on a sour note, not as in like real negative, but it just wasn't a great year. And we had to play young kids, and kids got beat on all year. And we go through a whole all season, and some kids don't even look like the same kid now they did last year, because heck, some of them were in ninth grade, now they're sophomores. So we've grown up a lot physically. I think we've grown up a lot mentally. We go out there against Talladega, and I think everything went about as scripted. I mean, about as good as you can have it, because I wanted to let a lot of people play, and we're basically up, right at 27-0 at half. So, in the second half, a lot of kids got to play, because we weren't going out there trying to score 100 points. That wasn't the object of the game. We wanted to, get our starters good reps, then get some backups good reps. But because you get games like this next game, Gadsden City, a lot of those guys won't get to play. So we got a lot of young guys, some good reps. Last year, one thing about having a young team or a rough season is a lot of kids don't get a lot of playing time, because you're never ahead in a lot of games. so we didn't get ahead in a lot of games, so we didn't get a lot of guys reps. So hopefully this year we'll get more younger guys reps in games, hopefully that we can control.
And obviously a much different makeup with the region you're in this year, back in the north. We'll obviously be talking a lot about that and the teams you'll be playing as the season marches along in 2016. Right now, though, it's time for a break. We come back, we'll head out to Lamar Field, check out highlights from last Friday night's big win over the Talladega Tigers as Jacket Vision continues in just a moment. And welcome back to Jacket Vision, our weekly look at Oxford Yellow Jacket football. And here we head out to the first half of Oxford and Talladega to open the season for you, Coach.
Well, we start the game off right there, hit Jack Peavy on a little stick route. Jack's a new addition. He may be a better addition than his dad. But Jack's a tough kid. There's Abe right there. Gets a little pressure outside, takes it, scrambles, gets about 20 yards. Right here we got a little lead play. There's Titus Lindsay. Jack Peavy leading up in there. Lyman blocking well for him. Titus, he's kind of short, so he's hard to see, so he can sneak in that end zone. At least that's what we're hoping. First play on defense right here, we get an interception. Janito Allen right there. Great job by Janito breaking on the ball.
It was a 3rd and long, too.
Yeah, 3rd and long. Great play. You know, here we are. Abe throws a shallow route to Dave Russell right there. Dave does a good job of putting his foot in the ground, making the guy miss. You know, and these kids I'm calling out, you know, none of these kids are seniors, so the future looks good for Oxford. Right here, the guy fumbles a snap, and I thought we got on it, but Asante Farrell touched it but didn't get on it right there, so we probably should have had it on the 1. Here they bust out in the middle, and then boom, Cam Lemons lays a great lick right there on the running back in open field. There I am giving a big hug. If I could, I would have kissed him, but he had his helmet on.
Another 10th grader.
Another 10th grader. Here we are right here. Asante Farrell making a tackle on the option right there. Great job.
Another 10th grader.
Run a quarterback lead right here on 4th and 1. We stop them. Kenny Britt does a great job right there. Back on offense. Got another little stick route to Dave Russell. Dave does a great job of catching in traffic right there. Here we are, Titus. We've got a little counter play right here. Titus makes a couple of guys miss. Just hard running. Gets down to about the 1. A great job by the line, making some holes. Another little lead play with Peavy leading, and I think that's Titus scoring again right there. Here we go. They throw a little bubble route off play action, and Asante Farrell does a great job right there. Asante weighs about 100 pounds, but he plays like he weighs 200. We get the quarterback out of the pocket right there. Keon Fomby rushes him out of bounds. Here we are. This is a real funny play right here. We should have stayed away from it, but our punt return right there, Richard Cantrell runs in, gets murdered, fumbles it within Kenny, picks up the fumble. And we think he's going to go all the way, and he gets kind of tripped up at about the 15-yard line. But a heads-up play by Kenny. Here we dodged a bullet right there. They stunned the backer through, and he came through free, and luckily Swain somehow was able to make him miss right there, and we get in again. Speed option right here. We don't do a good job on the perimeter right here. Our end-run force just is absent right there, and so he gets an easy first down on us. Here we are, they throw a little gap route, and we got to make a tackle right there. Cooley's got to make that tackle, but good hustle right there by Kendall McCollum, another sophomore. Kendall's hard to tell the difference between him and Kenny. They're both about 6'2", 230. They had a good quarterback. He was a good little athlete. We had a hard time hemming him up right here, but I think the defense does a good job of bowling up right here and stopping them. You know, right there, I thought he had scored. We stopped him at the 1. Then we got lucky. The next play, they jumped off sides, moves them back. There's Cam Lemons knocking the ball down. Great job breaking on it right here. Here's their 4th down play right here, and Kendall McCollum puts his hat on him, stops him right there. We're down it right before the half right here. So going to halftime, feeling pretty good, 27-0.
Oxford in control, 27-0 at halftime on Friday night. And Coach, we talk a lot about the youth of the team last year, and I know you took your lumps playing so many young players last year, and this year those guys have grown up a little bit. They're still young, but talk about some of the older guys that are going to be providing leadership for you. We saw Kenny Britt. We're going to talk about him all season long. Do you have some good established leaders with a lot of these young guys that you're still playing this year?
Yeah, you got Kenny Britt, of course, and everybody knows him, and you know, he's the superstar in all the media. publications and all that, but he's a superstar with his character. Is where he's really a superstar. You've got Josh Thompson at right guard, senior. He's the leader. We got Brett Houston at center. He's the biggest center in the state of Alabama. You know, he's got to provide leadership, which he will. So we've got other guys besides Kenny that are seniors that they've got to play a role. We've got 2 receivers out on the edge, both tall kids. You know, we need leadership from them. So, and I think we'll get it. So we've got some seniors. It's not like we don't, but we've got a lot of good young kids too.
Talk about the first half. Pleased with what you saw out of the first 2 quarters?
Yeah, we played hard. You know, Talladega doesn't have a lot of numbers, so those guys having to go both ways, I think they kind of wore out as the game went on, which is, you know, expected. And we're not hardly playing many kids both ways at all right now. So, you know, I was happy with it.
And once again, the Jackets in control at halftime, 27-0. We've got much more to come on our first edition of Jacket Vision this year. We've got our player spotlight. We also have our player awards from week 1 and also a look ahead to this big matchup on Friday night against Gadsden City. But as we go to break, here's a look at the Oxford Yellow Jacket Marching Band from their performance on Friday night. And welcome back to Jacket Vision. Second half highlights now. Shorter quarters, Coach. You elect to go to 8-minute quarters, so a pretty fast-paced second half.
Yeah, we you know, we had the game in control, and you know, if you play 2 12-minute quarters, you probably score a few more touchdowns, and it may get out of hand. And didn't want to do that to Talladega or anybody, not to run it up on anybody. But anyway, come back out. Talladega moves the ball at times. Was pretty good. Here's Cam Lemons coming up. Boom! Cam had a great lick right there. Another sophomore. Great tackle right there. But their quarterback was a good little athlete. We get a hit on him right here. Kenny about kills him right there. That was a 4th down and 2. But I was really impressed with their quarterback. I thought he was a true just competitor. We got Brody in at quarterback right now. Brody Sire scrambles out of the pocket a little bit. They got good coverage on us right there. Back on defense right here, we kind of just don't get off some blocks right there. Talladega does a good job of blocking us right there. So that's the end of the 3rd quarter. We go to 4th quarter. Don't do a good job of locking up missed tackles. We got some backups in, and you know, that's the thing. When those guys come in, they still got a block and tackle just like a starter. Good job right here. Good gang tackling, running to the ball. Right here, we don't do a good job. We get tied up on a blocker right there, and the guy gets about 10 yards. Here we are. They hit a little inside route right here, and Brody Sire makes a tackle. Got to get our safeties more active right there. Just a great play by the quarterback right here. Makes about 3 guys miss. You know, a lot of that was him being a good athlete, but some of that was us not putting our face on him. We got to do a better job tackling. Here's Brody Sire coming in and blocking an extra point. Real happy for Brody right there. He's a competitor now. They don't come a whole lot tougher than Brody Sire. They kick off to us right here, and I think Titus gets it. And for a second there, I thought we were going to go all the way, and the guy does a good job stopping Titus right there. We got some backups in on offense. There's Halpin at quarterback. Richard Cantrell right there running the ball. Richard Cantrell is going to be a good running back. He's another sophomore. He's got a bright future ahead of him. We got the guards getting around good right here. Jathan Foster, DJ Darby doing a good job being real physical. Here we are pulling them around left. Got sweep left. We got Marquise Lawson in at tailback right there. Almost scored. And we decided at this point, let's go ahead and take a knee. There's no need to. There's nothing to gain by scoring another touchdown. You know, there's things to lose, but nothing to gain. So that kind of ended it right there.
And the final score, Oxford goes to 1-0 on the season with a 27-6 victory over the Talladega Tigers. And Coach, as we will each and every week on the show, we like to announce your player awards from each game. So let's go ahead and and recognize some young men with outstanding performances Friday night.
All right, this week we have the Air Jacket Award goes to Dave Russell. The Racehorse Award goes to Jordan Swain. Highest grade defensive line goes to Dondre Allen. That was good for Dondre. Dondre hadn't got a whole lot of playing time, and he's a senior this year, and we really need him to help out, and so he did a good job. Highest grade offensive line, Brett Houston. Special Teams Award, Austin Klein. Austin made a tackle on the kickoff, I think, and had great snaps all night. Most hits, Kendall McCollum, big sophomore inside linebacker right beside Kenny. Meanest jacket was a tie, we thought, this week between Cross Davis and Cam Lemons. Both of those guys, well, they did some hitting Friday night. Game breaker this week, we thought we had a tie. Abe Peoples on offense, Cam Lemons on defense. Cam got an interception, had some big hits. Takeaways, getting turnovers, Janito Allen got an interception, so did Cam Lemons. Hammer Award, Cam Lemons, Brody Sire. You know, you saw Cam Lemons' name a lot up there. That's nice to see. Cam's a great kid, just a sophomore. Pride Award, who practiced hard all week and gave us a good look, Cecil Adair. Real proud of Cecil Adair. That, to me, that's one of the best awards we give every week. It's a Pride Award.
All right, congratulations to those young men for their performance on Friday night, and some of those very young men that I know Coach Herring's happy to have them around the program for the next few years. Well, one of the young men he's very proud to have on the team this year is big offensive lineman Brett Houston. He will be the focus of our first player spotlight of the season when we come back. We'll also talk Gadsden City, the next opponent on the schedule for the Oxford Yellow Jackets, as Jacket Vision continues in just a moment. And welcome back to this week's edition of Jacket Vision. Time now for our player spotlight. You know, Coach Herring, just like any coach, will tell you that you're only as good as the guys up front, the guys in the trenches on the offensive and defensive lines. And Oxford's got a really good one on the offensive line in Brett Houston. Here is Chase Robinson with more on Brett in this week's player spotlight.
Brett Houston, offensive lineman for the Oxford Yellow Jackets, has been starting since 10th grade and has plenty of experience on the line that is helping him be a leader on the team as he enters his senior year.
He's a senior who's played pretty much every position on the field for us. So right now we moved him around the center, so we got a lot of communication with him. He knows what everybody can do, you know, so with that leadership, with his tenacity that he has up front, with his size, with his footwork, he's a great leader and he's a great fighter on the field.
Houston is a beast in the weight room and can lift 650 pounds on the parallel squat. And he could do more, but Coach Herring won't let him. Brett has picked up some offers, the most recent being Georgia Southern, and he knows he has some things to work on to get better for the next level.
I've got some offers, and I know that going to play at the next level, I've got to work hard, so I've been putting in a lot of work. I know these guys have been putting in a lot of work, and I just want to get out there on the field and see what we can do.
You know, just like everybody else, footwork, staying, you know, keeping your base, keeping your hands on inside, keeping your feet driving, keeping pad level down low, and that's for every offensive lineman. That's not just Brett, you know, we keep working that and pounding that to all the linemen up front. So just like all of them, Brett's got to keep working, you know, the fundamentals of football, you know. Number one, feet, hands and feet, and that's where he's got to work on.
For Jacket Vision, I'm Chase Robinson.
All right, thanks a lot, Chase. And Coach, Brett Houston, talk about senior leadership. I know he's a key component there for you.
He's huge. You know, he's played tackle, guard, and center, all three positions the last 3 years. This will be his third year starting. You know, he's the biggest kid I've ever coached. He's about 6'3", 350. He can squat 700 pounds. I mean, he's a freak in the weight room. He can hang clean 315. You know, he's got everything you need. And he's a good kid. He's easy to talk to. He laughs, he smiles. I think he's a good teammate. You know, so we're just blessed to have Brett. He's done a great job for us, and we really, we need him to be a great player this year, and because the better he is, the better we're going to be, and he knows that. But we're just so glad he's on our team.
Look forward to watching Brett Houston all season for the Oxford Yellow Jackets. Well, coming up this Friday night, another non-region game and a big challenge ahead for the Yellow Jackets as they will take on Gadsden City over at Titan Stadium in a 7 o'clock kickoff. Gadsden City fell to 0-1 last Friday night with a tough loss to Spain Park, a game that, frankly, the Titans should have won. So, Coach, we got a little bit of highlights of Gadsden City to show while we talk about them. And, they're just what you expect when you play Gadsden City on film, aren't they?
Yeah, they got big linemen on both sides of the ball. You can look at the running back right there, number one. I think maybe he's an Ole Miss commit. You know, he can run, he can fly, and he can find a hole. He can find a seam. Watch him right here. I mean, he's just, you know, you're not going. If he breaks free, you're not going to catch him. So we've got to keep him hemmed up. If we don't keep him hemmed up, you know, they might bust the scoreboard. So we have got to do a good job of keeping him hemmed up. You know, they got a couple of linemen though that, to me, are just great. They can stretch that thing out and get up and get linebackers. I mean, they're pretty dang good. And of course, defense, they're just athletic. They got guys who can run, just like they always do. So you know, it's a challenge, but it's a challenge that you want, especially you want before you start region play. You want to see how you match up with a team that can run and can play. So I'm looking forward to see how we play Friday night. You know, we'll be proud of our kids whether we win or lose. The main thing is go out there and play hard, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, and you know, kind of on the intangible side of things, I mentioned they should have won that game last week. They had some things go against them. So, you know, here they are back at home again, and they're going to be really motivated to pick up their first win.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to beat them at Gadsden City. You know it is, just like it's hard to beat anybody at home. But, you know, we got to go up there and take care of the football, and we got to stop the run. If they can hand it number one and he just runs where he wants to, we'll have a long night. But if we can keep him hemmed up, we'll have a chance to win the game.
Talk about some of the key things that you saw from your team Friday night that makes you feel good about your chances against a team like Gadsden City.
Well, you know, we got to run the football. We didn't run the football last year, and a lot of that was due to being young. But we've got to run the football. If we can't run the football and get first downs, you know, it'll be a long night. But we've got to stop them running the football. They get in spread formations and they'll throw the ball a little bit, but they want to make their money running the football, hand the ball to number one. And they've got two other backs that are good, but they want number one to go make plays for them. So we've got to keep him contained.
Well, before we went to 7 classes in the state of Alabama, this was a big region game and a big rival game for Oxford, and I guess it still is a big rival game. Is it important to keep Gadsden City on the Oxford schedule, to keep that rivalry going with the geographical closeness?
I think that's the main thing, just due to proximity of locations. You know, I don't want to drive 2 and 3 hours to play people in the regular season. I'd like to play people that are within an hour at least, and Gadsden City is one of those. So, you know, we don't have Anniston on schedule anymore, so I look at it kind of like it's the old Anniston game now. You know, and it's it's going to tell us where we are right now. You know, we may think we're better than we are, and they show us we're not, or we may not know how good we are and do well against them and say, hey, we're in pretty good shape right now. But either way, you know, if you're going to have a long season, you got to get better each week, and this will tell us how much better we got to get from where we are right now.
Yeah, and athletically speaking, you won't play anybody any more athletic. Even if you went all the way to Super 6, Super 7, you won't play anybody any more athletic than Gadsden City, because every year since they've been a school, they've been very, very competitive in that 7A division.
You know, when you got kids, a lot of kids who can run, and they've got size too up front. It's not like they've got a lot of fast kids and they've got small linemen. They've got good size linemen, and they've got good speed. They got a good mix, and I know those kids work hard just like everybody else does. So, you know, they're going to be tough to beat. You know, they're going to be tough to beat. But, you know, 3 years ago we beat them 6-0, and that was a war. And if we're going to win, it's going to be that type of game. It's going to be low scoring and just, you know, who can protect the football.
All right, big road trip coming up. Short road trip, but a big game as Oxford travels to Titan Stadium to take on the Gadsden City Titans. Coach and I will be back with you again next week for all the highlights right here on Jacket Vision.